So last week you brought up direnv. We were talking about how do you store your secrets, how do you activate and configure different environments. I think I even said something about like specifying where Python was running. I don't remember what the context was exactly, but you're like direnv. And actually, I've been meaning to cover this. Dunder Dan, I linked him on Twitter. Don't know what his last name is. Thanks, Dan. Sent this over to us as a recommendation, and I'm like, yeah, like you brought it up. It seems definitely cool. So let me tell you about direnv, direnv. So it's an extension that goes into your shell, and normally what you do is you open your shell and it runs your bash rc, zhrc, whatever, and it sets up some stuff. Or if you're over on Windows, it works a little bit different. But I think direnv is only for the POSIX type systems. Anyway, it'll set up some values that you put in there, like environment variables and whatnot. And that's just global, right? You can also set up when you activate a virtual environment to export other values. That's pretty cool. Excuse me. But what it doesn't really do is allow you to have like a hierarchy of values. So if I'm in this subdirectory over here, I want this version of Python active, or this version of where the Flask app lives. And then if I change to another directory, I want it to automatically go, well, that means different values. And direnv basically does that.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So as you go into different parts of your folder system, it'll look for certain files, and .envrc. And if it finds that, it'll automatically grab basically all the exports and then jam them into whatever your shell is. And it's also cool because it's not a shell, right? It's not like, well, here's a shell that has this cool feature. It works with bash, Z shell, TC shell, fish, and others, right? So it's basically a hook that gets installed for, like I use Oh My Z shell because, oh my gosh, it's awesome. And then I would just plug this into it. And as I do stuff with Z shell, it will just, apply its magic.
Yeah, and so one of the things you can do with this is to automatically set a virtual environment if you go into special directories. That's not the only thing it can do, but that's one of the reasons why a lot of people use it.
Right. You basically, well, I guess you can't do aliases. You can't change what Python means, but you can say where the Python path is. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's one of the things that's a limitation of this that people should be aware of is it's not like a sub. The way to think of it is not as a sub RC, right? It's not a sub bash RC where like it runs aliases and all sorts of stuff. The way it works is it runs a bash shell, like a little tiny hidden bash shell. It imports that as the bash RC, and it captures what the exported variables are, throws away that shell, and then jams that into whatever active shell you have, like Z shell or bash or fish or whatever.
Yeah. Yep. I would probably use this all the time if I wasn't somebody that used both Windows and Mac and Linux frequently. So
probably
pretty neat.
I bet somebody could come up with this thing for Windows as well. It's just got to be like totally from scratch, different type of thing, right?
People have already pointed me to Windows versions of it, but it's one of those things of like you got to jump through hoops to make it work, and it's just not for me. It's not solving a big enough problem that I have that I need to jump through the hoops. But
I agree. It is cool, but it's not like life changing in that regard. I guess one more thing to point out is you don't have to like go to the directory where the environment RC file is. It looks up the parent directories until it finds one. So you have this like hierarchy. Like I'm down here in the, like views part of my website, and at the top level of that Git repo, I have one of these env RCs. It would find that and like activate that for you. So that's pretty cool that it's kind of like Node.js where the Node modules live in that regard. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's a really nice feature.
Yeah, for sure. Thank you for watching this segment of the Python Bytes podcast. This video was made during the recording of the full episode. Visit pythonbytes.fm and get the whole story. Subscribe to the podcast and get the entire episode delivered to your phone. Please support our work by taking one of the courses at pythonbytes.fm/courses or learning PyTest with Brian's book at pythonbytes.fm/PyTest. Finally, visit our sponsor shown on the screen here. Visit the link on the screen and get the special offer for Python Bytes and YouTube listeners. Thanks, and have a great rest of your day.